Okay, from page 30, we had question 1D and H. Any problem in question 1D and 1H?
I had none.
Okay. It was simple, just using of quadratic formula. In sketching, you're confident in sketching now?
Yes,
And
I
the
understand the fundamentals.
second part was page 32 and question 6 and 7. Any issues in question 6?
No.
Okay, so let's come on 7. You mentioned that. It says h of x is equals to 2x square plus k plus 4x plus k, where k is a real constant. Find the discriminant of h of x in terms of k. B square minus 4ac is the discriminant. B is k plus 4 squared minus 4, a is 2, and c is k. Simplifying this in terms of k, a square plus 2ab plus b square minus 8k. So this is k square plus 16. B part says, hence or otherwise prove that h of x has two distinct real roots for all values of k. It has two distinct real roots. So if that was the case, we will use b square minus 4ac greater than 0. And we've already simplified it. This is k square plus 16 is greater than 0. It says k square is greater than negative 16. So we do not get any value of k. Why is that so? Because squared number cannot be equal to a negative number. Therefore, for any value of k, it has two distinct and real roots. One more reason you can say, for any value of k, if you look at this, if I say k square plus 16 is greater than 0, whatever value of k I use, whatever value of k, this square will turn it into a positive value. Example, I use minus 2, this square will change it into positive value and it is greater than 0. If I use 0, this thing is again greater than 0. If I use a positive value, 7 square, this is again a positive value. So for any value of k, this is always greater than 0, and b square minus 4ac being greater than 0 means it has two distinct roots. And when we solve for this, in this case, this shows that k does not have any particular value. If it would have been positive 16, we will get plus 4 and minus 4 in the case. Is it clear?
Yes.
This square is something which actually explains why it is always positive. Whatever the value is, it is plus 16. So it is always more than 0, hence no real roots. Okay, let's try this and then we'll move on. The diagram shows a section of suspension bridge carrying a load over the water. The height of the cable above the water level in meters can be modeled by the function this. It is a quadratic equation where x is the displacement in meters from the center of the bridge. Interpret the meaning of the constant term 200. Can anyone explain this? The answer lies in the above statement. This statement right here. Yes, go on, please try.
No, I was going to ask which part do you want me to explain?
First part, interpret the meaning of constant term 200. Any ideas what this 200 means?
Does it have to do with the water level, like in meters, how
Yes.
far up it is in water level?
Yes, exactly. So this means that at all times, the distance between this lowest point and the water, this distance, at all times, it is 200 and not less than that. The height of the cable above water level, height of the cables above water level in meters can be modeled by the function this. Quadratic equation is given where x is the displacement in meters from the center of the bridge. So if we consider this our center, if we are moving towards right or towards left, this is the displacement and you see that the cable is rising. So when we move towards right or left, this distance becomes more than 200. So interpret the meaning of the constant term 200 when x is 0. In the case when we substitute x0 here, we get 200. That means the minimum distance between water and cable is 200. It is not less than this at all times. Use the model to find the two values of x at which the height is 346. At which the height is 346. So now we know that the minimum height is 200. Definitely the height 346 would be somewhere away from the center. 346 on both sides. So that means we have the value of h. So we'll substitute 346 here. H of x is equals to 0.0001 square plus 200. So this is 346 is equals to 0.0001 x square plus 200. Now we are solving for x. Meanwhile, can someone let me know when you are planning to appear for the exam? Because for AS, we need to do paper 1, paper 2, and mechanics.
I think our exams will be in June, July, somewhere around there. Next year, June, July.
Okay, we have
Most
time.
probably in May. We don't have our timetables yet for the exams.
Okay. Okay.
Haven't received any information regarding A-level exams.
Okay. Whenever you finalize this, do share it with me so we can plan accordingly. Like we should know that we have to complete our chapter in 1 week or 2 weeks. So we finish before time and we have plenty of time to practice past papers. Like it depends. If we have much of the time, we can practice 12 questions from the same topic. If we have lesser time, we may practice 5 to 6. So 346 minus 200 is 146 by 0.00012 equals x square. So x square is equals to 121.123.4.6 square root of answer is 1103 plus minus. So on either side, when it is 1103 meters, the height of water is 200. 346. Given that the tower at each end are 346 meter tall, use your answer to part B to calculate the length of the bridge to nearest meter. It says height of the bridge is 346. So if this is 346, we now know that this length is 1103.02 to be precise. So 1103 on either side. So length of the bridge must be 1103 times 2 is 2206 meters. Any confusion in this? Okay. Second question is, a car manufacturer uses a model to predict the fuel consumption Y miles per gallon for this specific model of the car traveling at a speed of X miles per hour. So model is given, Y is the miles per gallon and X is the speed. So normally we know that at traveling at higher speeds would mean more consumption. And where X is greater than 0, that obviously means it is not at rest, it is moving. Use the model to find the speed at which the car fuel consumption of 32.5 miles per gallon. So this is value of Y. We will substitute value of Y here and find the two values of X. How are we sure that we will get two values?
It's above 0, so it means that there will be two values for b squared minus 4ac.
X is above 0. There's no information regarding discriminant.
Oh,
Y is equals to negative 0.01 x square. This square explains that we will be getting two values because it is a quadratic equation. Linear equation is a straight line and quadratic equation is a curve. That is why we get two values. If we have cubic equation, we will have two curves and hence three values. Linear 1, quadratic 2, cubic 3 values. So it is a quadratic equation and this is 32.5 is equals to negative 0.01 x square plus 0.975x. Definitely when we have values in decimals, we do not go for midterm breaking or any other formula other than quadratic formula. 0.975x plus 16 minus 32.5 negative 0.01 x square plus 0.975x. This is 16 minus 32.5 negative 16.5. We can use these same values or we can multiply the whole equation with -1, changing it to this. Changing signs of all the numbers, and now we use our quadratic formula. Minus b plus minus square root b square minus 4ac over 2a. Negative 0.975 plus my yes, math.
So why did we change the
The,
sign?
the negative sign, it makes
Yes.
no difference. It makes no difference. I did this thing. I multiplied with negative just to make x square positive. It makes me easy to think about this in my mind to make clouds like this. If the coefficient of x square is positive, it is always easy. You might say it psychologically, I feel comfortable to handle positive numbers.
Yeah, yeah.
Or the other case would have been negative means sad face, and there will be no change in these two values. These values will be same. So I had an option because the equation was equal to 0. So I could change the values. So I went for that. It will absolutely make no difference on the answer if you choose to write this step A or B. So
Thank you.
minus B plus minus B square minus 4 A and C over 2A. Now make use of calculator. If someone could do it with me, we'll be able to match your answers as well. 9.75 plus square root 0.975 squared minus 4 into 0.01 into 16.5 over 2 times 0.01. So when I used positive sign, my answer is 75.705. And when I used negative sign, my answer is 21.795. Rounding them to one decimal place.
Same answers.
Thank you. And another thing, the question says x is greater than 0. Both of these answers are greater than 0, so they're accepted. If one would have been negative, we'll reject that answer and continue with the remaining one. Okay, then it says rewrite y in this form. Which form is it? What do we call it? We did that yesterday.
Could you repeat the question?
Yeah, B part. Question number 2, B part. It says rewrite the equation in this form. A minus B x minus C whole square. What do we call this form? Completing square form. So now we have to convert this equation into completing square form. Our main
Where
equation.
did A come from before? I thought it was just B then x minus C squared.
Yeah, when we will convert this, we will see that it is rearranged. Our general equation was A x minus h whole square plus k. So basically your A refers to k. He's just rearranged it, k plus a into x minus h.
Oh,
Does it
okay.
make sense? So he rearranged it because of this negative sign. Where is this negative sign coming from? Our coefficient of x square is negative. So our main equation is negative 0.01 x square plus 0.975 x plus 16. So for completing square, step by step, our first step is making the coefficient of x square as 1. So I will take out common negative 0.01 and I'm left with x square. So 0.975 divided by 0.01 is 97.5, and with the negative sign 97.5x, and again negative sign 16 divided by 0.01 is 1600, First step, making the coefficient of x square as 1. For second step, what do? We choose the coefficient of x, we divide it with 2, and then we add the square and subtract the square. So 97.5 divided by 2 is 48.75. Let's see, we should use fractional. 97.5 divided by 2 is plus 48.75 square minus 48.75 square. So negative 0.01, x copied, negative sign copied, 48.75 copied, whole square. And solving for the rest is 48.75 squared, 1600, and we get 3.9. Yes, Mohammed.
Question isn't related to the work we're doing now, but will it make a difference for our learning in A levels if we did IGCSEs or O levels before going to A levels?
Okay, first part of your question is either if it is related or not. This is part of your course and very much related if you remember this first thing. In quadratics, we need to cover 3 main topics. One is factorization. You do it with any method, middle term breaking, completing square, or quadratic formula. One thing, definitely in this question, which we are currently doing, there were decimals. So middle term breaking is not a choice. Second, the question clearly states that it wants you to convert it into this shape. So we are left with no choice but to do it with completing square. And the second part of your question was IGCSE towards A levels. You will be appearing for Edexcel Pearson, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Edexcel Pearson, it handles 2 things, which is a little different with A levels. This will ask you for logic, as the question asked why it is 200 all the time. But in A levels GCE, it is just solving of questions and there are no theoretical parts in the question. And right now we are handling this very latest question. This is a quadratic, purely quadratic question. When it gave you the value of y, so we chose to do it with quadratic formula, and these were the 2 answers. Second part of the questions tells you to convert it into quadratic form, completing square form. The question is a bit lengthy because the numbers are in decimals.
Hi.
Like if we had to practice, we may have chosen different question, which excludes decimals. So I was like, this wasn't a homework, it's a classwork. So we may choose any question. Multiplying it again, this negative 0.01 into the equation is negative 0.01 times x minus 48.75 squared. Negative sign with negative cancels out, and this becomes 39.76. And this is your form. If we have to rearrange, this is 39.76 minus 0.01 x minus 48.75 squared, completing square form. C part says, using your answer to part B, find the speed at which the car has the greatest fuel efficiency. Greatest fuel efficiency. Now, this is again something which is a little different from GCE A levels. Before answering part C, I need you to understand this. May I say this is still equal to Y? Suppose you are driving your car and your speed is X. Does it make sense you increase the speed and mileage reduces?
No.
You're moving at 10 meters per second. Your car is consuming your petrol. You're moving at 20
Mileage will
meters per
increase.
second. So it will consume more petrol. At higher speed, the engine produces higher power. It consumes more fuel. Is it relatable
Where
now?
does fuel efficiency be at 0 then?
Greatest fuel efficiency? No. Why so? Think over it. When you use the value of X as 0, when you use the value of X as 0, this will be negative 48.75 squared multiplied with 0.01. This is something which will be eliminated from 39.76, right?
Yeah.
So greatest fuel efficiency will be the
Oh,
value when this expression as whole is 0. So you get 39.76. Will you ever get the answer more than 39.76? Because whatever you choose, this is going to be subtracted from this. So the least value which you can subtract is that is 0.
X equal 48.75 then?
Yes. So when X is 48.75, when your speed is 48.75, only then this expression will be equal to 0 and making the remaining answer 39.76, which is greatest of all times. And whatever you use other than this value, that will result in a constant, which will be subtracted from 39.76. So this is your answer. So you see, there wasn't any working over here, but to think over the question. D part says use the model to calculate the fuel consumption of the car traveling at 120 miles per hour. Comment on the validity of using the model for very high speeds. So if we are using 120, 39.76 minus 0.01, this is 120 minus 48.75 whole squared. So 120, I'm using my calculator, 120 minus 48.75. The remaining answer is squared times 0.01. So whatever the answer is, I'm subtracting it, 39.76 minus answer, and I'm getting a negative answer, which is negative
Negative 11.
11.00. And now there are two parts to this question. It says use the model to calculate the fuel consumption. This is negative 11. And comment on the validity of this model. We can never have a negative answer. Do you accept this fact? Like, for example, if you're traveling in a car, whatever the speed of the car is, the highest speed, I think what I saw on Google was 400 something. So if I say the car is traveling at 700, firstly, it is practically not possible. Secondly, this equation, this model, it says negative 11. That means it needs more fuel, which is even not present there. So this model, which is y equals to 39.76 minus 0.01 times x minus 48.75 is not valid. It is not correct for very high speeds. Mileage cannot be negative. It has to be a value that the car is consuming this much fuel. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, in this topic, we had to cover solving quadratic equations with any method. Second part is completing the square. Third part is functions, and what we just solved was functions. Quadratic graphs. Quadratic graphs is the sketching of graphs. The discriminant, you must have all the concepts of discriminant considering the three cases, and then modeling with the quadratic. That this depends on the wording of the question. This is page 32. Let's check this. This is the same exercise which we covered. For more clarity, you can refer to the wordings of your syllabus. I'll share that with you as well. And for practice, now we have two things. One is from these exercises, and you know what the marks are. So you also would know the importance of this question. In this case, this is 9-mark question, which will definitely affect the grade if left. And you may practice questions from this book and past papers as well, wherever you wish. Do you have that material?
There's past papers.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
We
have
can
access to past
find them
papers
online.
online.
Okay. So you may practice them. Only one thing I would advise, that follow the book first, because in past papers you'll have to skim and scan for your topics. For example, let me show you this. I've
Like
downloaded
binomial expressions we haven't learned yet, right? So we'd have to skip over those.
Yes. That's the case. So it will save your time if you follow the book. Like this is inequality. We haven't done this. So you will be skipping this and looking for your part. Now look at this. This is a quadratic equation. Figure 1 shows part of the curve with quadratic equation is 3x square minus 2. The point 2, 10 lies on the curve. Find the gradient of the tangent to the curve at P. Tangent to the curve at P. Now, although it looks like quadratic before reading this part, find the gradient. For this, we need to derivate the equation. And differentiation derivation is almost our 8th or 9th chapter. Okay, so I think it is advisable that you follow the book for questions, so you don't have to skip any part, thinking that if it lies in your domain or not. Find the gradient of the line PQ in terms of age. This is derivation. Okay. Use algebra to find all the solutions. Now you have a cubic equation. If you look at this, can we just take out x common? This is 3x cubed minus 17x square minus 6. 3
Differentiated, right?
minus 17 and 6. So if you say this is 3 minus 17 and 6. So solving this equation, taking out x as common, this is 3x square minus 17x plus 6. So x is equals to 0 and 3x square minus 17x plus 6 is equals to 0. Now the choice is yours, either middle term breaking or quadratic formula. So you will have all three answers, all three solutions for x. I think following the book would be easy. You don't have to see if you've done this question or not. And differentiation is something which we'll be doing at a very later stage. Chapter 8 here, it is binomials. And chapter 12 is differentiation. Past paper contain questions, mix of all topics. So this is quadratics, which is covered. And what we need is a thorough practice of this. And I'll be waiting for you to question if there is something you may say after practice that you've tried completing square and you didn't get it. So either we do that again or I check your questions. You can also share it with me if you don't get the answers.
So could you just send where you doing most of your working out? Could you send that file on the group chat?
This file,
Yes, can it be shared?
I I think it could be shared. I tried it once, but students say send a copy of the page. Uh, Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
I have a I have a question regarding one of the homework you gave us yesterday.
Yes.
Question 1H on page 30. The graph, the graph's answers for the two x values were complicated, such as 2 over 3x and 5 over 2x. So I wasn't able to sketch it properly. Is that an issue that I need to work on?
No, because it is a sketch. It is not plotting. Okay. It is a sketch. So you just have to label it with idea that it should fall over here.
Turning point was along the lines of 19 over 12x and minus 121 over 24y. So I wasn't sure how I'd be able to plot that.
I'll do it right away. Just let me know what the email address is. I'm also sending it first time. This is actually the application of Windows. I've installed it on Mac. So I think it will not be shared like this. Can you let me know the email address? I'll just send it.
Type my email into the math chat.
Yeah, share it somewhere. I'll copy it. Match it or here at Zoom. I'll just copy paste. Got it. Can you guide me here? I've actually not used this before. I can use this, send anyway. I'll
Click
find
on
a way
send
to
it.
share that as well. It is in the videos, but I'll share this to somehow either screenshots or convert into PDF. I think it is causing problem because this
Sir,
is not a Max application. Yes.
um, is there any way for you to upload the PDF onto Google Drive that we could access?
Yeah, I'll try that to convert it into PDF. Actually, this application belongs to Windows. I was confident on this before converting to Mac, so I just installed it. So it has like limited access. I'll share it somehow. I'll figure out a way.
You managed to download WhatsApp onto your computer, you could share it as a PDF onto the group chat.
I'll do it. Okay, which question was it you asked about? Page 32, I think you said.
30, 1H. It was just sketching the graph I had difficulty with.
Okay. That was page 30 and question 1H. Okay. So it says y is equals to 6x square minus 19x plus 10. So first step is taking out x squared minus 19 by 6x plus 10 by 6, taking out common. Second step is 19 by 6x, and I'm simplifying this, keeping it as it is. Half of x will be 19 by 12. So plus 19 by 12 squared minus 19 by 12 squared. This is 6x minus 19 by 12 whole square. Then all of the remaining is just the number. 19 divided by 12 squared and 10 by 6 minus answer is 121 by 144, multiplying 6 inside, x minus 19 by 12 whole square minus 121 over 24. So this is just the sketch. First of all, we see that it is a smiley face. Secondly, we have this turning point, which is 19 by 12. Sign is being changed from negative to positive, and this is copied straight away. 121 by 24. So this is positive x and positive y. So positive x, positive y would mean this. Somewhere here in the first quadrant, and a smiley face. So it actually makes no difference. It is just a sketch. This is 19 by 12 and this is 121 by 24. It doesn't have to be in proportions. We have labeled the turning point. Yes.
It minus 121 by 24.
Oh, yes. Thank you. This is negative. Thank you so much. So positive x and negative y. Positive x, negative y, and a smiley face. So this is negative, positive, and negative 121 by 24. So just a sketch. To find these three values, this is x0, y something. So when we put x0 here, what do we get? It is 19 divided by 12 squared times 6 minus 121 divided by 24 is 10. So this is 0, 10. And for these two values, it is y is equals to 0. So 0 is equals to 6 x minus 19 by 12 whole squared minus 121 by 24. So I'm solving for these two. 121 by 24 is equals to 6 x minus 19 by 12. 6 divided on the other side. 121 divided by 24 divided by 6 is 121 by 144. Is equal to x minus 19 by 12 whole squared. Square root both sides is x minus 19 by 12 is equals to 11 by 12, and x minus 19 by 12 is equal to negative 11 by 12. So x is equals to 11 divided by 12 plus 19 by 12 is 5 by 2. And this is 19 by 12 minus 11 by 12, that is 2 by 3. So if I say this is A, this is B, both of these are firstly positive. Solving this, I know that it is intersecting on positive x-axis. Firstly, our turning point was 19/2 and -1. This was -1 to 1 over 24. 121 over 24. This is the turning point. It intersected at x 0 and y 10. And these are the 2 points. So out of these, I should know which is greater value and which is lesser. So A is the greater value. This is 2 point something, and this is in decimals, 0 point something. So 2/3, and this is 5/2. 5/2, comma 0, 2/3, comma 0. This is your complete sketch. Turning point and 3 points of intersection. 1, 2, 3, and the turning point. Do you get it? And if we go for, like, if you say, do we need proportions? No, that is not a need. This is actually 0.6 and this is 10. So you see, looking at it, it is not in proportion, but it is not the requirement. It is just this sketch. Plotting, if it would have been plotting, we would have drawn a grid also. This is your final answer. Mohammed, is it clear?
Yeah, it's clear. Thanks, sir.
Okay. So you have this book. Please go through this chapter 2. Start with exercise 2.1. Practice any question you like. Then 2, I would advise that practice 1 to 2 parts so you may go through the whole chapter. And do share with me before our next class. You are more than welcome to share your queries. I'll answer you on WhatsApp. Anything else you would like to ask?
Any other questions?
Take care then, and I'll try and figure out some way to share this file. Take care.
Allah Hafiz, sir.
Allah Hafiz.